Okay, let's unpack this. YouTube. I mean, it feels like it's just everywhere, woven into daily life for, well, pretty much everyone, right?
It really does.
Yeah.
And the numbers definitely back that up. For most people, it is the place for video.
Yeah. So for this deep dive, we've got quite a stack of sources, articles with some pretty incredible stats, research on who's watching, what they're watching.
And even a really interesting personal story from someone who's basically grown up creating on the platform over like 17 years.
Right. So our mission today is to kind of guide you through all this, pull out the key stuff.
Exactly. Think of it as a shortcut to understanding this digital giant.
Yeah.
You know, from its kind of humble beginnings right up to the massive global impact it has today.
Yeah.
We want to see how it evolved, the scale, what it all means.
And I think we're going to hit on some facts, maybe some surprising things about a platform you probably use, every single day.
Definitely.
So where do we start? The beginning. The Genesis story.
Okay, yeah, we need to rewind. Back to early 2005. It was started by three guys, former PayPal employees. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim.
PayPal. Huh. That's interesting. Not like media executives or video tech people originally.
Nope.
So what was the spark? What problem were they actually trying to solve?
Well, the sources point to a couple of things. One story you hear a lot is just the basic hassle of trying to share videos online from, say, a dinner party back then. It just wasn't easy.
Right. Sharing files was clunky.
Super clunky.
Yeah.
But another big driver came from Jawed Karim. He is apparently really frustrated that he couldn't easily find video clips online of huge events everyone was talking about.
Ah, like what?
Like the Janet Jackson Super Bowl incident or footage of the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. Big moments, but no central, easy place to see them.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. Everyone's talking, nobody can easily find the video, so they wanted to fix that friction.
Exactly. The core idea was, well, simple on the surface.
Yeah.
Build a platform that was just incredibly easy for anyone. Upload, share, watch. No special software needed,
Keep it simple.
Yeah. And they moved fast. The domain, youtube.com, that was activated February 14th, 2005, Valentine's Day.
Ah, okay.
And the public beta was live just a few months later in May.
And the very first video, it's kind of famous now, isn't it? Just for being so normal.
It really is. Me at the zoo.
Yeah.
Jawed Karim uploaded it himself, April 23rd, 2005. It's what, 18 seconds long?
Yeah.
Just him at the San Diego Zoo.
In front of the elephants. The cool thing about these guys is they have really, really, really long trunks. Something like that.
Pretty much. And that was the start of it all. It's incredible, really.
So features back then have been super basic.
Oh, yeah. Very basic. Commenting was there. You could have your own channel. And obviously, you could upload videos. Just the core stuff to get sharing going.
Okay, so tiny seed planted, early 2005. How did it go from that simple beta site to the absolute monster it became so quickly?
Well, the growth was almost immediate. Sources use words like meteoric.
Yeah, I bet.
And a really early sign of that viral potential came in September 2005. There was a Nike ad featuring the soccer player Ronaldinho.
Oh, I remember that one. The crossbar challenge thing.
That's the one. It became the first video on YouTube to hit 1 million views.
1 million views back in 2005. That must have felt absolutely huge then. Really showed what was possible.
It was massive. And it definitely got investors' attention. Sequoia Capital came in November 2005 with $3.5 million.
Crucial money, I imagine. Servers aren't free.
Exactly. They needed serious server power, bandwidth, all that infrastructure stuff to just keep the lights on with that kind of growth. And then the site officially launched out of beta December 15th, 2005.
Wow. So less than a year from domain registration to official launch. That's moving fast, even for tech.
Yeah.
And then things really started scaling up, right? 2006 onwards.
Absolutely. Throughout 2006, it just exploded in popularity. They started making deals, partnerships with major media companies like NBC.
Ah, bridging that gap. Old media meets new.
That was key. And the scale, even back then, was getting kind of mind-blowing. By July 2006, they were reporting over 65,000 new videos uploaded every day.
65,000 a day. Wow.
And over 100 million video views per day. That kind of traction, it just made it clear this wasn't some flash in the pan. It was changing how people use the internet.
And when you get that big, that fast, the big players notice. Which led to, well, the moment everyone knows.
The Google acquisition. November 2006, Google swooped in and bought YouTube for $1.65 billion in stock.
$1.65 billion, which sounds almost like a bargain now, considering what YouTube is worth. But yeah, a massive number at the time. Why was that so pivotal?
It just gave YouTube rocket fuel. Access to Google's massive resources, their infrastructure, engineering talent, global reach. Everything needed to handle the insane growth that was still coming and to scale worldwide.
Right. They couldn't have done it alone, probably. Not at that speed.
Very unlikely. And Google was pretty smart about it, too.
Oh.
They largely let YouTube be YouTube, kept the brand distinct, kept the operations mostly separate, let that initial culture thrive. They recognized that was part of the magic.
Okay, so they've got the scale, the eyeballs, Google's backing. How did they then build the whole creator economy thing, turn it into a place people could make a living?
That really started kicking off in the years right after the acquisition. The big one was the YouTube Partner Program.
Yeah.
Launched in 2007.
The Partner Program. Yeah, that changed everything for creators, didn't it?
Totally game-changing. For the first time, it gave creators a direct way to make money from their videos through ads.
Right. Suddenly there's a real financial incentive.
Exactly. An incentive to make better stuff, upload more consistently. That same year, 2007, they started putting in video ads. Then pre-roll ads came along by 2008.
So the money started flowing for creators, for YouTube.
By May 2008, Forbes was estimating YouTube's annual revenue was already around $200 million.
Wow.
And the content volume just kept climbing. By 2008, get this, 13 hours of video were being uploaded every minute.
13 hours? A minute. Back in 2008. That period really cemented it, didn't it? Not just viral clips anymore, but a real media platform, a place for pros outside the old system.
Absolutely. It laid the foundation for everything we see today, which brings us right up to the present. Let's talk about the sheer scale now. In 2024, 2025, it's almost hard to wrap your head around.
Okay, hit me with the big numbers.
As of 2024, YouTube has 2,491,000. That's billion.
Yeah.
Monthly active users globally.
2.49 billion. Just wow.
It's staggering. It's still the second most visited social media site globally, right after Facebook.
Yeah.
But if you look just at the U.S.,
It's #1 there, right?
it is the most widely used online platform in the U.S. 85% of American adults say they use YouTube.
85%. That's higher than Facebook.
Yep, higher than Facebook at 70%, Instagram way down to 50%.
Yeah.
That U.S. penetration is just immense.
And the amount of time spent, the content being added, it's even more insane now.
Oh, yeah. Globally, users watch over 1 billion hours of YouTube content every single day.
1 billion hours a day.
And remember that 13 hours uploaded per minute back in 2008.
Yeah.
Today, it's over 500 hours of video uploaded every minute.
Wait, hang on. 500 hours every minute. You literally couldn't watch a minute's worth of uploads in a lifetime. That puts the scale in perspective.
It really does. And then you've got the whole Shorts phenomenon adding another layer. As of mid-2023, YouTube Shorts had 2 billion monthly users watching those short clips.
Wow. And their paid service, Premium.
That hit a milestone, too.
Oh.
100 million subscribers for YouTube Premium.
It's not just people going to YouTube either, is it? It's woven into search now.
Deeply. YouTube gets nearly 9 million visits a month just from people finding videos through Google searches or other search engines.
Right.
And YouTube videos pop up directly in search results, the SRPs, for over 791 million different searches. You look up how to fix something, chances are a YouTube video is right there.
Okay, so the platform is undeniably massive. But who are these 2.5 billion people, and what are they actually doing on there? Let's get into the demographics, the habits.
Okay, so broadly, U.S. and globally, millennials are the biggest cohort of watchers. Gen Z is right behind them. But where it gets really intense is with teens.
Yeah, you'd expect that. For a lot of teenagers, YouTube probably feels like the main part of the internet.
The data absolutely confirms that. Something like 93% of U.S. teens aged 13, 17 use YouTube. Overwhelming majority.
93%.
And most of them, 73%, are on there daily. Some sources even say 15 or 16% describe their usage as almost constantly.
Almost constantly. Wow, that phrase says a lot about how integrated it is. Any big difference between teen boys and girls?
Not really, no. Usage is pretty similar. Around 96% for boys, 91% for girls in that age group. Very close.
And geographically, within the U.S.?
High everywhere, but a bit higher in cities and suburbs, 85% usage there, compared to 77% in rural areas.
Yeah.
Still huge numbers everywhere, though.
What about older folks? Is it still mainly a young person's game?
Not at all. And this is really interesting from the data. Huge majorities of older adults are using it, too. 86% of 50 to 64-year-olds are on YouTube.
86%.
Oh. And get this, 65% of adults 65 and older use YouTube. The sources actually point out that only Facebook has a majority usage among that 65-plus group besides YouTube.
65% of people over 65 are using YouTube regularly. That statistic alone just shows how mainstream, how essential it's become across every age group. It's not niche anymore.
Not even close.
So with this super diverse audience,
Yeah.
what are they all watching?
Well, the number one reason cited by 82% of users is still entertainment. That's the core appeal.
Makes sense. Videos, music, funny stuff. But it's not just entertainment anymore, is it? News seems to be a growing piece of the pie.
A really significant piece. Get this. 37% of users aged 30 to 49 specifically look to YouTube for news.
Wow, over a third of that key demographic.
And overall, about a third of all U.S. adults, 32% in 2024, say they regularly get news from YouTube.
A third of U.S. adults getting news from YouTube. That feels like a major shift. Has that number grown?
It has, significantly. It was only 23% back in 2020, so quite a jump in just a few years. And now, YouTube is basically neck and neck with Facebook for news consumption among U.S. adults, 32% YouTube, 33% Facebook.
That's fundamentally changing the online news landscape.
Wow.
Okay, for people making videos, what does the data say about, like, how long should a video be?
The sweet spot seems to be between 5 and 15 minutes. Videos in that range tend to perform best on average. The overall average length of a YouTube video is around 11.7 minutes.
Okay, 5 to 15 minutes. Good to know.
And here's something that seems small but has a massive impact according to the sources. Subtitles.
Captions. Yeah. Why are they so important?
Well, 80% of viewers say they're more likely to actually finish watching a video if it has subtitles.
80%. That's huge. Why?
The reasons are interesting. 42% say they turn them on just to help them focus or concentrate, even with the sound on. But a massive 69%, almost 7 out of 10 viewers admit they watch videos with the sound off when they're out in public.
69% watching muted in public. Okay, that explains a lot. People are watching everywhere, commuting, waiting rooms, grabbing a quiet moment. Subtitles aren't just for accessibility, they're essential for how people actually consume video now.
Totally. It's about context switching and concentration, too. Another big trend. People preferring creators over traditional outlets.
How so?
54% of people say they're actually more interested in watching a content creator break down a big event, news, sports, award shows, than watching the official broadcast itself.
Whoa! More than half prefer the creator's take. That's a huge statement about trust and connection with creators.
It really is. They value that personality and perspective. And Gen Z specifically, they really like seeing creators across different formats. Long videos, shorts, video podcasts, the whole mix.
Makes sense. They consume media differently. And if you wanted to be one of those creators, what's the most popular kind of content area?
According to the data, the biggest category for influencers is people and blogs. So lifestyle content, vlogging, that kind of personal stuff.
Right, which flows right into that whole influencer economy that YouTube really helped pioneer.
Absolutely. YouTube was one of the very first places individuals could build a huge following and actually make money from it.
And some creators make serious money now.
Yeah, the sources suggest successful creators are earning around $1,100 per week on average.
Okay, $1,100 a week average for successful ones. And what's the split? How much do creators actually get from the ad revenue?
They get about 55%. So if an advertiser spends $100, the creator keeps $55 of that.
That's a pretty decent split.
Yeah.
And the very top earners, the numbers get kind of crazy.
They really do. Someone like Mr. Beast reportedly earned $82 million just from the platform in 2023.
$82 million in 1 year for making YouTube videos. It's hard to even fathom. And there are a lot of channels with big audiences now, right?
Oh, yeah. Over 35,000 YouTube channels have crossed the 1 million subscriber mark.
35,000 channels with over 1 million subs.
And the single biggest channel in the world, T-Series, the Indian movie and music company, over 241 million subscribers. Really shows that global scale again.
It's also interesting how many people now kind of see themselves as creators.
Yeah, this was fascinating. 40% of people globally personally identify as video content creators.
40%. 2 out of 5 people consider themselves video creators. That's huge.
It's a massive shift in identity and aspiration. And for YouTube itself, the platform revenue reflects this huge ecosystem.
Yeah, what are those numbers like?
Well, Google reported over $7 billion in ad revenue just from YouTube in Q2 of 2023 alone.
$7 billion in 1 quarter.
And the estimate for YouTube's total revenue in 2023 was around $31.5 billion. And the ad reach potential. A single YouTube ad campaign could potentially reach 30% of the entire world's population.
Mind-boggling reach. Okay, let's circle back to the news thing for a second, specifically news influencers in the U.S.
Right. So about a quarter, 24% of adult U.S. YouTube users say they regularly get news from influencers on social media. And when researchers looked at where these news influencers are actually active, 44% of them are primarily on YouTube. So it's a key platform for that.
A major hub for news influencers. What do we know about who these influencers are, demographics?
The sources indicate they are mostly men, 68% men versus 28% women, creating this news content on YouTube.
And politically, do they lean one way or the other?
Reporting impartially from the source here, 28% explicitly lean right, 21% explicitly lean left, and 46%, nearly half, don't express a clear political orientation in their content.
Interesting distribution. Nearly half are not overtly partisan. What about their backgrounds? Are they former journalists?
Mostly no. The vast majority, 88%, have not worked in the traditional news industry before becoming news influencers.
Wow. 88% have no traditional news background, yet they're reaching a significant audience. Are they making money from it?
Yes, most are. 80% are monetizing their content somehow through subscriptions, donations, selling merchandise, that kind of thing.
That's a really profound shift, isn't it? Who delivers the news, how it's funded, the background they bring or don't bring. Okay, before we tie this all together, let's hit a few fun facts or unique stats from the sources.
Sounds good. Most viewed video ever.
Please don't say baby shark. Please don't say baby shark.
It's Baby Shark Dance.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Billions and billions of views. What's number 2?
Despacito, the music video. And the first video ever to crack 1 billion views. That was Psy's Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style, a global phenomenon powered by YouTube.
Exactly. These aren't just videos, they're cultural moments. How are people watching all this?
Mostly on their phones, right?
Yep. Around 63% of YouTube viewing happens on mobile devices. It's definitely mobile first for most users.
And the content itself is super international.
Totally. Videos uploaded from over 100 countries, available in more than 80 languages. It really is a worldwide platform.
Okay, so we've covered the history, the unbelievable scale, who's watching what, the creator economy, the news angle, some fun facts. Our sources also had this great personal story, right? Someone who kind of grew up with the platform.
Yeah, it's a really neat perspective. This person shared their first encounter was seeing YouTube at a college party way back in 2006. They mentioned their roommates were just glued to these videos, maybe even more than the party itself.
That feels like such a perfect snapshot of early YouTube already competing with real life.
Totally.
Yeah.
Then, jump to 2008, they decided to start making videos themselves. And think about the tech. Back then, they were using a handheld Sony camcorder, recording onto mini DV tapes.
Mini tapes, wow. Then
Yeah.
connecting that to a computer. Yeah.
Right. Their first channel, MGmathmo 8, was focused on recording live music around Carbondale, Illinois.
And the quality, I imagine, wasn't exactly slick Hollywood production.
Definitely described as rough around the edges. But, even with that basic setup, they started getting traction. They actually managed to get press passes for some regional music festivals.
Really? Like which ones?
Like Mulberry Mountain Harvest Music Festival in 2008. They filmed bands like the Yvette Brothers, Leftover Salmon, Humphreys McGee.
Wow.
There's even this specific memory in the story and a bit of regret about not filming Humphrey's set during a hurricane because they were worried about wrecking the camcorder.
Oh, man. Capturing the moment, worrying about the gear. That's the creator struggle right there, even back in '08. And this early stuff built a local reputation.
Yeah, apparently in that first year, they started getting known locally for these music videos.
Yeah.
But they quickly realized, okay, I need better branding, better organization.
Made sense.
They started a second channel in 2009, MGM Films 0009. But friends basically said, hey, you need to consolidate this under one name, get a real website.
Good advice. Which led to the long-running brand.
Exactly, Crescent Vale. The website and the dedicated YouTube channel launched in 2010. And they've kept that branding consistent for 15 years now, making content on YouTube for 17 years total if you count the early channels.
17 years on the platform? That's incredible longevity. They literally grew up with YouTube. Did they ever have a viral hit?
They did. A video they uploaded in 2013, it was a recording of the amazing bassist Victor Wooten covering Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely?
Oh, nice.
That video just took off organically, gained over 1 million views without any big push. It just found its audience on YouTube.
1 million organic views. That perfectly shows that discovery potential we talked about. Even for an independent creator, the right content can just explode.
It really does. So the focus was mainly music for a long time, 2010 to 2023. But then, as the creator evolved personally, they started branching out, adding personal development content. which mirrors how lots of creators change focus over time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. People grow, interests change, and their reach. Did it reflect that global scale we saw in the stats?
Totally. They mentioned getting viewers from hundreds of different countries. Japan, Brazil, South Korea, France were specifically mentioned as ranking high in their audience stats.
Wow. All from that channel. Started with a mini DV camcorder.
hmm And they said close to 90% of their total views, around 2 million over the years, were organic, just people finding the videos through YouTube search and recommendations.
2 million organic views. That's impressive. Made some money from it.
A small amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough to cover some costs, but not like Mr. Beast levels, obviously. They said they keep uploading now because they want to bridge cultural gaps, share experiences. And despite all the new platforms, they've stayed focused on YouTube.
Sticking with the platform that became their creative home.
Pretty much. They're even doing new stuff now, like playlists showing behind-the-scenes content, trying to connect more with that global audience.
That whole personal journey, stretching right back to 2006, it really puts a human face on all these, massive statistics we've been throwing around. How does that story kind of connect the dots for us between the data and the reality?
Well, it's a great example of the platform's history and how it works, right? Their early struggles with uploading, that just highlights why the infrastructure, the investment, the Google deal were all so critical for YouTube to scale.
Right. It wasn't always easy.
Not at all. And their journey from rough videos to needing proper branding, getting advice from friends, that shows how creators themselves had to get more sophisticated as the platform grew and got more competitive.
And that viral Victor Wooten video.
Perfect illustration of organic discovery. Even with billions of hours of content, something good can still find a huge audience through YouTube's algorithms.
Yeah.
It validates that potential.
Yeah.
Their global viewership directly mirrors the platform's international reach stats. And their content shift shows how creators have to adapt and evolve to stay relevant. It's not static.
So pulling this all together then, the history, the crazy scale today, who's watching what, the creator money, this personal journey, what's the big takeaway for someone trying to really understand YouTube now in 2024 to 2025?
I think the main thing is realizing YouTube isn't just a website. It's this dominant global force that's actively shaping entertainment, news, learning, connection, everything.
It's fundamental.
Absolutely. The data shows the audience is massive and incredibly diverse, from those teens using it almost constantly, right up to a majority of seniors over 65. And the trends we talked about, preferring creators, the importance of subtitles, getting news, these aren't niche things. This is how huge chunks of the population consume media now.
And the personal story kind of grounds it.
Yeah, it reminds us that even with this immense scale, it's still about consistency, adapting, finding ways to connect authentically. And there's still real potential for organic reach and global impact if you understand how the platform works.
This deep dive has definitely peeled back layers. It's way more than just cat videos, although there are plenty of those too. It's a primary hub for information, community, commerce, globally.
For sure. The numbers are just staggering. Billions of users, billions of hours, 500+ hours uploaded a minute. It paints a picture of influence that's hard to overstate. And those specific data points, news habits, subtitle impact, the creator economy, they give us real clues about modern digital life.
So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Given YouTube's just undeniable reach, its power, and all these diverse ways people use it for fun, for news, for connection, how is this one single platform going to keep shaping things? Not just online media, but maybe how we understand the world, how we relate to each other. What's next? What new kinds of content or creator audience dynamics might emerge on YouTube?